Hello, hello. All right, so let's get down to business. I am talking about this week, I'm talking about 5 tips that I have to help your chatbot copy become so high converting that you are absolutely in demand. Your bot is the best it can be. All right. So, excuse the wonderful attire. I came back from the gym a little bit late and didn't get a chance to change. So you see me how I am. And that's kind of what I'm going to talk a little bit about today. So be clear and concise. That's tip number 2. Be very clear, but also be very concise. And also, you can be clever. All right, clear and clever. So many times in marketing, we're told, don't be clever. And I used to do that. I used to think I was so fancy with my words. All right. And then I learned, no, fancy, not everybody thinks the way I do, thankfully. If they did, it would be a little scary. But still, don't be so fancy with your words. Be clear. I learned that very, very quickly in marketing. Now, guess what? I can be both, not just fancy, but clever. And that relates to me, and the people to whom I speak will understand that. So if I'm speaking to people born in the same area that I am, the same time frame that I am, they will understand some of the nuances that I talk about, the different television shows or the different songs that were on the radio at the time. I know you young kids don't know what I'm talking about in terms of radio. Very few of you do anyway. But same with a big thing that's going on right now. My 17-year-old talked about how he's actually becoming his generation is now, the things that they know and love are now becoming memes. So the things that they know and love, the different video games, the different TV shows, the different commercials that they used to watch when they were kids, the different cartoons, those are all becoming memes now, because that generation is getting to the point where it makes sense. They're getting older and they can be nostalgic. All right. So before I get any further, I'm going to actually take you through, if I can find where I was now. There it is. Take you through and show you actually what I'm talking about. Okay. So don't worry. I'm going to actually show you, take you inside my bot and show you what I mean by being clear and clever. All right. So let's see if I can share my screen and then I'll be back. Okay, so let's hope you can see my screen. I think you can. So what I'm talking about is some of the copy that we use all the time. So let's just say if you opted in for these tips, okay, so here's the flow you went into. And here is and I'll just bring it up because I like seeing this, all right? So let's just come here. All right, so if you opted in, here's the first message you saw. Yahoo, you're in. Ready for all 5 tips? Yes, give them to me is what this says. But look at this. It says, if you ever want to unsubscribe, just type stop and I'll never send you any more of my chatbot copy. Okay, so here is where in this one, I don't know how many characters that is, but it's probably not more than 100, right? In this one text block, I am both clear and clever. At least I think I am, right? So, but you can be clever in your own way. If you ever want to stop, if you ever want to unsubscribe, just type stop. That is as clear as you can be, right? That's it. You're giving them very clear instructions. And then you add in your own personality and your own cleverness and the things that'll speak. So if you ever want to unsubscribe, just type stop. And I'll never send you any more of my chatbot copy. So you could make this, if you ever want to unsubscribe, just type stop. And, I don't know, I live in California. So we have a thing here called a California stop, right? So, and I'll make sure I don't do a California stop on you, and I'll never send you any more messages. So if I was speaking to people in California, they would know what I was talking about, right? They would know that the California stop kind of rolls through a little bit, and we can turn right on red lights and, things like that. So, you can even do that. If you ever want to unsubscribe, just type stop and I'll be as red as the red on a stoplight, right? And not send you any more messages. Something clever that is your personality. Or I'll stop just like a toddler given an ice cream cone. right? Something clever. You can be both. In that one little teeny section, you can be both clear and clever. And that is how you can make your chatbot copy highly, highly converting, much higher in conversions than if you just said, P.S. If you ever want to unsubscribe, just type stop. Period. That is not, most people don't talk that way. Okay, so now I do have one client who is much more monotone, much more precise, much more specific, much more dry in his humor, but that does not mean that we can't use some of that humor in a way that will speak to his audience, right? So I encourage you, if you want your chatbot copy to be higher in conversions, be clear, very clear what you want. So if you want someone to do something, tell them what to do and give them the button to do it. Okay, here we go. Here are all the 5 tips that I'm talking about, right? And then I'll reveal tip number 5 on Friday. Okay, so let me go to some more flows and let me tell you what I mean. Be very clear. All right, so let's look at, okay, conversion calculator. Okay, here's another one. I have a lot of fun with this one. Okay, I just do. I love it. All right, so we start off with a GIF and we say, thanks, first name. I know you want more leads, and more importantly, you want to convert more leads to sales, right? Yes, more and more. Nope, I make enough money, right? All right, so if they say more and more, that's what I like to hear. Okay, let's do a little experiment to see how Facebook Messenger can help you do that based on the actual results my clients have seen. You game? You bet. Let's go. So lots of times when I'm putting a button in the beginning, when I have a new client, most of the time I would take this, and let me edit this and show you what I mean. I would take this message, this first message especially, because most of their prospects are not going to understand how this works, right? They're not going to really understand Facebook and all that good stuff, or Messenger. They don't really understand that there's buttons here and that they have to click them. Lots of times people respond and reply with yes, rather than clicking the button. So here's where you can be very clear. Thanks, I know you want more leads, and more importantly, you want to convert more leads to sales, right? And then you can be clear and clever right here. And typically I would not make another paragraph. I would actually put another text block in here with a delay, a typing delay. And let's move it up here. All right. Then I would say, if you, let's see. Come on, catch up to me. And then I will tell them to click the rocket below. And then I would give them arrows, right? Okay, that's very clear, and it's also clever because I'm telling them, or actually instead of if not, I would say if you make enough money, click the other one. Okay, clear and clever, right? That's what I'm trying to do. And typically I need to train people to click these buttons because they typically don't know. And see, during a live, my wonderful kitty cat wants out. Yeah, here we go. Be right back. Okay, domestic duties done. All right, so there's clear and clever. I want to tell them exactly what to do. And again, a very short span of time, very little messages, very little typing. I don't want a huge amount of text, but it's very clear and it's also clever. At least I think so, right? Clever for me. You be clever for you. You be you, okay? All right, so I'm gonna delete this stuff and bring it back to normal because my audience typically knows what they have to do, all right? And I'm going to stop sharing and talk a little bit. All right. So here I come back. There I am. All right. So that's what I mean when I say clear and clever, right? You can be very clear and very clever at the same time. Hey there, Josh. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Okay. That's it. That's how you do it. And if you do that and you're very concise with your words, short amount of typing, short amount of text, like we talked about yesterday, short stories. These are not long, drawn out stories. I could have made those longer and been, more colorful and all that baloney. That's not what Messenger is about. Short, right? We already talked about short stories yesterday. Now we can talk about clear and clever at the same time. Okay? In that short story. All right? There's tip number 2. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. You know where I am. You know how to reach me. And I hope you have an amazing Tuesday, right? See you soon.